All right. Thank you so much, Reese, and thank you everybody for being here. And first, I want to thank everyone who came to the conference. It was awesome to meet so many of you and be able to put a face to a name. And certainly, I had an incredible week there in Australia, and I can't wait to come back and spend some more time down there. But just to begin with today. What I really want to do is what we're going to do is break up the 7 essential skills that you need to learn to be a true professional at the trade of network marketing. And these will be broken into 7 webinars, so they'll be 20 to 30 minutes each. We will record them all so we can get them out to everybody. But tonight, I really wanted to kick it off with just some of you have seen this before. Some of you have read Eric Worre's book, Go Pro. So this is going to be a little bit of a review. Some of you are brand new, and this will be the first time you see it. So I'll kind of cruise through the front part quickly, and we'll really dive into and focus on how to find people. Whether this is your first day or your 10th year in network marketing, you'll realize that you yourself and everybody you bring into the business goes through 3 stages in this business. The first stage is we really come into network marketing as a poser. A poser is simply somebody who is posing to be something they're not. So we get involved, we buy a kit, and we say, oh, wow, now I'm in network marketing. Well, you may be in a network marketing company, but you're certainly not a network marketing professional on day one. That is something that takes a little bit of time to learn. But posers on day one, what we all tend to do is really treat the business much more like a lottery than a business. And what we mean by that is most people join and they have in their mind 3, 4, 5 people that they just know are going to get so excited about XFuse. And they run out and talk to those few people and just know that if 2 of them get excited, they'll have one on their right leg, one on their left leg. They'll make a ton of money and life will be bliss. And if they get lucky, that actually happens. If not, they'll figure out along the way, they'll move on to stage 2 and become an amateur at the profession. Now, amateurs focus on things like luck, timing, positioning, and shortcuts. So you'll find somehow the day you sign up in a network marketing company, your email account, all of a sudden you're going to see junk email on how to get prospects. Buy this course on how to run ads. Buy that course on... Whoa. Can you hear me, Reese? Reese, can you hear me?
Yes, sure can. You sure can, Joe. You're good to go, mate. We can hear you loud.
Okay, my phone told me something about an entry. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, you're good to go. We're hearing you loud and clear. I'm just muted, so it takes me a bit to unmute so that I give you clarity.
All right, brother. Thank you. So amateurs are going to focus on, whether or not they got lucky, whether they were positioned under the right person or with the right leader. Did they get in just at the magical time before XFuse, started going into momentum? Or is there some shortcut? Can I hire somebody online or take an online course where somebody will go build my business for me and I won't actually have to do it? And most of us, myself, I got stuck in this phase because I didn't know what I was doing for about 2.5, 3 years. Most of us spend a fair amount of time in the amateur phase until we get just absolutely frustrated enough to say, I'm willing to learn what I don't know, but I really want to learn how to become a professional at network marketing. And that's when you move to stage 3. As soon as you really want to become a professional, you'll begin to learn and focus on the skills that are needed for you to be very successful. And there are only two things that professionals do focus on. One is skills and the other is passion. And the great thing about being involved with a wonderful company like XFuse is the passion side of that equation takes care of itself. If you just use our products or hang out with the amazing people that we attract because of the culture that we have, or go on a Viva Kids trip and see how much we impact the lives of these underprivileged children, the passion will be there automatically. All you have to do is show up and use the product. So the only thing left for us to focus on are really the skills that we need to acquire to make ourselves proficient at our craft. So what are the skills that you need to focus on? Skill number one is how to find people. Skill number two is how do you invite people to view and exposure. Skill number three is once someone's been exposed to XFuse and they're interested in more information, how do you present to those people? Skill number four is following up on the people that you've presented to. Skill number five is closing. Skill number six is how to get a brand new person started and hopefully move them from a poser to an amateur to a professional as quickly as possible. And then skill number seven is promoting events. Now, there are two skills that are really the money skills. For those of you that say, I really want to learn how to make this a business and make money as quickly as possible, the two skills to focus on are inviting, number two, and promoting the next event, number seven. If you get very, very good at those two skills, you can make an incredible income in XFuse without really perfecting the other five. But what we're going to do is each week we're going to be going over one of these skills till we've been through all seven of them, and then we can repeat through and go through them all again. Tonight we're going to focus on skill number one, which is how to find people. Now, if you think about the three types of people, and maybe you can help identify exactly where you're at in the business based on how you're finding people. Posers are going to run around really excited and throw up all over those 4 or 5 or 6 people they have on their list. Now, what I mean by throw up is they're going to bump into you at a convenience store or restaurant, and they're going to say, oh, Myra, you won't believe the opportunity I got involved in. You've got to learn all about XFuse. We have this great performance product, and it does amazing things. And they'll tell you all about all the ingredients, and they'll tell you all about all the comp plans, and they just can't help but give you every bit of information they know about the company, even on a sidewalk or standing in an aisle in Walmart. Okay, amateurs approach people with a little bit more skill and preparedness. They learn some scripts. They learn how to not give too much information, but rather just get people to the information. But they still tend to tell the prospect too much about the business or the company. Okay, so one of the things we have to learn to do in becoming a network marketing professional is we are not the information. We just want to guide people to the information. If you are the information yourself, if you're the source of all of the answers to their questions, then all you've really done is bought yourself a job. And what we want to do is duplicate ourselves in this business. So that requires we learn how to send people or guide people to a place where they can get all the information they need, not give it to them right on the spot. Now, professionals, they only invite to view and exposure, such as a DVD, a website, a video, a conference call, a webinar, an in-home presentation, maybe even a one-on-one presentation. But professionals never present on the spot when they find somebody. They always find somebody and then invite them and then expose them. So as we go through how do professionals find, there's a couple key points that you want to do. Number one, make your list as comprehensive as possible, which means you need to sit down, and it doesn't work to say I have 1,000 names in my smartphone, so they're all right there. You need to actually sit down with pen and paper and write out the names of every person you can think of. I want you to go back to, elementary school, grades 1, 2, 3, 4. Who were in your class? Who was your teacher? Who was the principal? Who babysat you when you were a child? Who did you babysit as a child? Who do you, and I don't care if they're dead, alive, if you have no way of ever getting in contact with them, get the name on paper, because what will happen when you have a huge names list, you never get worried about running out of prospects to talk to. And if you're not worried about running out of prospects, you'll always approach your prospect in the inviting process with the right posture, where you're not chasing them or begging them, but where you're just guiding them to an exposure. Because a professional knows if he simply guides enough people to an exposure, to a presentation, a certain percentage of those are going to see XFuse for the amazing company that it is and want to get involved. Step number 2 is the 6 degrees of separation. So after you make your extensive list of at least minimum a couple hundred names, then I want you to go back through those names and look and say, okay, I know Reese. Who does Reese know? Right? And an easy way to do this if you're on Facebook is actually go to one of your friends and then look at their list of friends. And as you look through there, more names will come to mind. And you'll go, oh, yeah, I forgot. I went to a party one night and Reese did introduce me to this Jeff person, and add all of those people. It's been said, and I don't know if it's true, I don't know how anyone would ever prove it, but it's said that we're all 6 people away from knowing anyone on the planet. So if I wanted to know the greatest rugby player in Australia, I probably know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. If I go 6 times, I'll find somebody that knows that person. So start figuring out who do the people that you know. The third thing, and this is where we really hit the pavement as far as the work you're going to do on a day-to-day basis, is to constantly expand your list and add to it every day. Now, when I really wanted to master the skill of finding, I played a little game with myself where I said, okay, for the next 60 days, I will not go to bed at night. I will not allow my head to hit the pillow unless I have introduced myself to and got the name of 2 people each day that I didn't know when I woke up that morning. And some days it meant driving home at night and on my way home stopping by a gas station and just walking in and meeting the cashier. Or I'll go into a fast food restaurant and just meet a cashier or somebody working. Keep in mind, your goal is not to get their phone number. Your goal is not to send them an email or present anything. In fact, I would encourage you to do this with, play the game with yourself, and you're not allowed to present any information to them about XFuse or to invite them to an opportunity on your first exposure to that person. So if I bumped into Lisa in a let's just say a grocery store, and I introduced myself to her, and I said, hey, I love your bling shirt. Where did you get that? My name's Joe. And she says, oh, hi, I'm Lisa. We shake hands. I walk off, and I'm done with that, finding that person for the day. You want to find 2 people a day, because what will happen subconsciously, psychologically, you're always going to be adding names to your list, so you never get worried about who am I going to talk to or how do I find people, because at the end of 2 months, you now have 60 more people that you could go circle back around to, make it another exposure and invite them to view the X-Fuse opportunity. So every month you should be adding at least 60 names if you're meeting 2 people a day. And then number 4 is to network on purpose. Now, what do I mean by this? Is you want to engage yourself with other people that like the same things that you like. So if you love to exercise and work out, and you go to a gym and you've gone to the same gym for the last 2 years, and you've invited every person in that gym to see the opportunity of X-Fuse, then it's time for you to join a new gym. You know, break your routine, break your habit, and go to a new gym, because you'll meet a whole new group of people. There are some great organizations worldwide, like Toastmasters Club and BNI Group, Business Networking International, and Rotary Club, or, you know, as a service organization. Find something that you can be really passionate about and meet people that are passionate about the same thing, and then bringing up X-Fuse will be very, very easy. I love reading, so I spend a lot of time at Barnes & Noble when I have spare time, just hanging out, meeting people at Barnes & Noble. If you hang out in the self-help book section, almost everybody who walks up that aisle is very friendly. They're all looking at the same books. You can recommend one. They'll recommend one to you. And it doesn't take much to become friends and meet people, as long as you're not putting the pressure on yourself to talk to them about X-Fuse. If you just go out with the goal of, I want to meet some new friends, I want to find some people to talk to, and I want to get engaged in something more in life, it'll be amazing how many people you'll attract very, very easily. So another thing in the networking on purpose is, you know, find common everyday things you do, like maybe filling your car with gas or going to a dry cleaners or things of that nature. If you've prospected the people that work where you go every day, then go new places. You know, don't let your life be so stuck in a rut that you have to go to a certain business for certain services that you want done. If the people that work there aren't in your X-Fuse business and aren't interested in supporting your business, then why are you so loyal and committed to supporting their business? So constantly change up your routine, go new places, meet new people. But if you just make that commitment every single day, I'm going to find 2 people, I'm going to get their name, and then add that to your list, and you might just put, you know, Myra at the gas station, Lisa at the grocery store, Reese at McDonald's. You know, just put their name and where you met them, so we'll trigger it back to you later on. And then just go out there and meet people like crazy. And if you make it fun and light and easy, then you'll never worry about running out of people. You'll never stop and think, you know, what if I can't find enough people to make my business grow? Remember, with the X-Fuse opportunity, if you can just locate 7 people that get excited enough to be Pro 300 on your team, and then you have the right duplication and the right volume, you can earn $1 million a year in our company with 7 excited individuals. So you don't need hundreds. You don't need thousands of people. You need 7. That's all. 7 people. And, you know, I know in Australia, there are about 22 million people, Reese told me, in the entire country. You know, so what are the odds that there are 7 that you could connect with that could get excited about X-Fuse, see the opportunity like you have, and want to share our amazing products, services, and business with their friend and family? I think the odds are incredibly high in your favor if you simply get out there, open your mouth, and just start meeting people. Become really a professional at finding people over the next 30 days or even the next week. Because next week we'll do a webinar on how to invite the people that you found. We'll be talking about that next week. But over the next week, commit to meeting, 20 new people or 30 new people, whatever will really stretch you. But just say, I'm just going to go out this week. All I'm going to focus on is meeting people, not presenting, not inviting, not talking about extras, just getting interested in other people, getting their names, and adding them to my names list. So with that, I just want to check for questions and see if anybody has any questions out there for the last 5 minutes. And I'm not quite sure if you're on your computer, if you want to just raise your hand, there's a little hand. I could unmute your line and take questions, or read you've got it right through there. We could take questions there.
Yeah, one question that we have is, where do you, it's a practical question, where do you have your list? Do you have it on your computer, or do you have any places where you actually do it? Do you just do it on paper? You said that you have, Lisa from the gas station. Do you just have 2 columns, or do you build, how many columns do you really want to have, and where do you actually record that?
I personally, what I did is that, Reese, are you on a phone? Oh, there we go. Thanks, brother. Personally, what I did is I went and bought a little 3-inch by 5-inch little pocket journal notebook, and you can get them for real inexpensive at like a Barnes & Noble. You can get them pretty thin, and they just have lines. And I will say, whenever you have the opportunity, if you meet a new person and you're at, say, a doctor's office or an insurance place, and they have a card, or it's comfortable to ask them for a card, it's certainly better to capture their phone number and email. As much information as you can get, the better off. But just don't put pressure on yourself as you're just learning how to just make sure you find people every day. Don't put a lot of pressure to do that. But what I would do, let's say I ran into an old friend that wasn't on my list, I write it in my little book, and then I'll just put their phone number to the side of their name. So everyone can do it different. I am a huge believer that you must have a written names list. It's great if you want to add it into your computer as well. Like I put all of my names into my contact manager in my computer at the end of the day or the end of a trip. But there's something magical about actually writing it out. And psychologists have proven your retention, your remembering of people is much, much higher if you write their name versus if you just type it into a computer. So there's, I don't understand the ins and outs, but I know it works.
So another question, Joe, is how do you get over the fear, of talking to people? How do you overcome that, or what do you find works best, particularly in a female environment? We just have a few ladies here that are asking that question.
The ladies are afraid of people?
Yeah, they are. And how do they actually approach people? Like how, someone that they don't know, how do they approach them?
Okay, great question. Really, the easiest way to overcome that fear, most of that fear resides in if you're going out to find people or to meet people, and your goal is to talk about XQ, then it's really scary. If you go out, like let's say you're a female, for instance, I would go out looking for other females. The quickest way to break the fear is to start getting in the habit of just meeting people everywhere you go. So I would go to a women's clothing store because a sales lady is going to walk up and say, "Hi, how are you? Can I help you?" And all you have to do is learn to get in the habit of putting your hand out and say, "Hi, I'm Lisa," or "Hi, I'm Myra," and they'll immediately say, "Oh, I'm Amanda," or "I'm Sally." So just get in the habit of, make it as informal. But clothing stores are usually good, or any type of store where people, salespeople, when you enter, they walk out to try and help you. Those are great places. Another place is even restaurants. If you just go get a Coke and sit down at a restaurant for a minute, the waitresses or waiters, as they come around, if you actually shake their hand and say, "Hi, I'm Joe, what's your name?" They'll always tell you their name and say, "I'm happy to be waiting on you today." So just make it real easy and informal. It'll get more and more comfortable, and then you can really expand that out into other areas.
Excellent, Joe. I have Matt here who has a question.
Joe, for me, even though I have contacted a few people for XFuse, I still get nervous, about that. But what I've found for me is that when I'm motivated by a goal and I'm working towards that goal, that helps me to overcome the fear. Is that something that you've found generally helps other people as well, or is just everyone different?
Yeah, that definitely helps everybody. And one of the things we'll talk about when we do helping people get started right in skill number 6 is that really the most important thing is on day 1 getting crystal clear what your vision is of your XFuse business. What is your why? And what are you trying to accomplish? Because if the goal and the vision and your why is really crystal clear in your mind, it'll give you the strength to overcome your fears. I was listening to a CD earlier today by a great guy, Mike Sims, in the profession. He spoke at Eric Worre's Recruiting Mastery event. One of the things he talked about on that CD is he said, you have to have a why that will make you cry. And so his point was, you've got to have a goal or a dream that when you sit and think about it, attaining that brings tears to your eyes. It's that emotionally charging of a goal or a dream or a purpose, because this business will challenge your commitment. Right? And one of the ways it challenges it is this very question. How do you overcome the fear of talking to people or the fear of meeting people? And if you know that your future and your ability to have what you really want most in life depends on you learning how to meet people, it's really a pretty simple thing. But if there's not a big dream or goal or vision, then it's hard to overcome them.